Hello and welcome back to Auto Reviews 24, and I'm here to explore in detail the all-new 2025 Model Y in this long-range dual-motor version in this beautiful ultra-red paint. I'm going to find out today with my detailed review whether the Model Y is still the best option available and the champion in the electric SUV market, or it's time for Model Y to step aside and give all the mainstream manufacturers an edge to come forward and dethrone the tag for the best selling car in the world right now. If you are into honest, simple and practical car reviews, this video is for you. And hey, please do not forget to like and subscribe my channel so that I can bring more such car reviews for you. Well, in this review today, we are going to go deep inside this Model Y's refreshment for the 2025 year. What has changed, what's new, what's even better, what is refined inside out, as well as has the performance changed, the driving ability and everything else. Let's find out. Alright, so it's time for us to go over the exterior design changes for this refreshed Model Y. Especially from the front and the back is where everything has been changed. There has been good subtle changes and it has made this Model Y look more sleeker and even more better than the previous generation. Look at the front over here. I love this entire light bar in the front and it looks really stunning. In fact, this is the one element which they have borrowed from the Cybertruck. Everything else is still the Model Y. The front bumper is also a little bit redesigned, and there comes the introduction of the new front camera with the Model Y. The front camera here actually helps you with the FSD as well as more control over the autopilot as well. On the side is where you will see changes that the headlights have been little downwards now. No fog lights from the previous generation has been removed now. All blacked out headlights, again high beam, low beam, and it's very sleek and very simple looking. The side curtains here is very prominent and there is a big gap thanks for the aerodynamic design element in this car. In fact, the drag coefficient of this car is 0.23, which is the lowest in the market when it comes to this kind of compact SUV sizes. Now, the overall front look pretty much remains the same. Let us talk about the side of this car. That's where you will again see very subtle changes. Over the side, the first thing I notice here is this new 19-inch aero style aero design wheels. I really love this newer aero design compared to the older generation. Plus, it also comes with an option of 20-inch performance tires as well. That's a great thing. Again, the plastic black side fender looks really good, more of an off-road style. It goes very well with this red paint as well. And there comes the camera suite for this car. There are total 8 cameras which helps you with the FSD as well as the overall car performance. One over here which remains standard. There is no cameras under the side mirror, but what has changed for the side mirror is the small aerodynamic changes. This cut, what you see here, is what the engineers say that it's going to bring more efficiency to this car as well. The side profile overall, if you see, it's very much similar to the previous generation Model Y. Nothing has changed in my opinion at all. The length of this car is 187 inches. The ground clearance is 6.6 inches, which is decent, I would say. I love this flush handles, blacked out handles, which is a good touch. Blacked out frames for the windows as well. Almost all the windows are all acoustic glass. That means the road noise, the quietness inside is exceptional. You have one camera system over here, and here is where you will put your key to unlock or lock the car. In fact, you can use your phone as a key as well, and that's a handy feature in this particular model. The overall slopey design of the roofline is also very neatly designed, thanks to this beautiful one panel glass up there inside this car. Well, let's come to the rear part of this car, and that's where you see that slopiness continues. Again, one touch of a button over here, and that's where is your NSCS charging port. Model Y supports maximum 250 kilowatt hour charging speed, which brings 10 to 80% charging in around 25 minutes. Let me close this charging port and talk about other elements. One thing I noticed is the panel gaps are much more aligned now, and gone is that fit and finish quality issues from the previous generation. Now let us talk about the rear end of this Tesla Model Y, and that's where you will see another design changes. This light bar across the car mimics the front look, But what has changed is this Tesla logo. Gone is the logo with T, and in comes the Tesla spelled beautifully and very differently. Let us talk about this marvel of engineering choice what they have made. The rear light, it's actually under this, which reflects on this panel and gives you a very different perspective of 3D element to it. I really love the way it is, but it is not coming out as well as I would have thought in person. The light is very bright and clear, but in daytime you hardly notice that there is a light turned on. That's why they have given this light panel here as your brake lights, and everything is blacked out, so it looks really nice. Only one dual motor badging over here, but what has changed majorly is the overall back panel of this car. To improve the repairability, cost and everything, earlier this entire panel from here all the way to the bottom of this bumper was one piece. You had to replace the entire piece, and that's why this time around they have made into two different pieces. This one piece is an entire piece along with the light bar, and the second piece is this bumper. So what else has changed in the rear is this rear windshield, which actually has been squared off now, and the fit and finish is much more better than the rounded edges in the previous generation. From the side angle is where you can see how much protruded it is or outside from the actual trunk panel, and that's why because of the accident changes what they have made, so that even if someone hits the back, it hits the bumper first and it's easy to replace with low cost maintenance. Also is the rear camera very well integrated in this panel. Now let us talk about the trunk space and the cargo here. Let me open this. Again, power operated, which is great. Now let us talk about the cargo space of this Model Y. Total 35 cubic feet of space, and it is huge. In fact, if you see, there are clever touches here. You can actually use this as this automatically tucks in, and hence you can actually open one of the deepest and widest underfloor storage in a car. You even have side pockets which are also quite deep. This tray is basically your trunk tray, which you can use it on top of it. In fact, if you remove it this completely, you even have more storage under here as well. Power operated second rows, which is a new into this Model Y. With this one touch of a button, you can actually flat the entire second row, and that enables 76 cubic feet of space. Overall seats are quite flat, so it's easy for camping as well, and you can easily sleep in your camping mode. You also have a trunk light over here, which is a good touch, and a power operated trunk which you can easily close. Now let us talk about the front of this car and understand what changes they have made there. Over to the front now, and as usual, hydraulic hood, very nice. Again, some fit and finish quality here is great. It locks down all the airs coming inside. More than 4 cubic feet of front, and it is deep and wide. You can easily fit one carry-on luggage without any issues. What's new is this interesting bit here. You have actually a drain plug now, so apparently you can use this as a cooler or put this for your camping as well. So let's get inside this new Model Y. The first thing is, all I put is the card over here, and there you go. The car unlocks for me, and which is pretty fast. The stepping height is quite nice, and everything else still remains a classic Model Y. But there are a lot of improvements in terms of fit and finish quality, material choices and everything else. Let us talk about from the driver panel first. If you see the driver's door panel, everything is meticulously designed. I love the material choices now. You see this ambient light which actually goes across the car, which we'll talk later. Again, they call it hidden speakers, but I love this flush metal or aluminum finish. I love this fabric as well. And the most important thing is, to give it more luxurious touch, you have an actual Alcantara sweat material here, soft touch leather, which is again vegan, soft touch plastic over here, a sound damping material here as well for the quieter ride, soft touch plastic here as well, which is very hard to find in today's world, but everything is very simple and easy. One touch buttons for all the windows. You have this button over here to lock, unlock your doors, and simple and easy. You have one speaker over here as well. And I was talking about the acoustic glass. Look at this glass, which comes with double frame inside, so that the outside noise is almost negligible when you sit inside this car. Overall, the driver's seat is very simple, power operated, 8 to 10 way adjustable, which is great. You have got Model Y seal here, but it does not glow. And let us talk about more from the passenger side and talk about the seat, what's new in this Model Y. The seats are all vegan, perforated, heated and ventilated this time, which is a great choice. The seats are very sporty, comfortable, and I really love the way it is. It is very comfy as well. Let us talk about the dashboard design. That's where things have changed. Again, it is very simple to the Model 3, but the choices of fabric over here, the ambient lighting which I talked about, as well as some intriguing details here with this plastic finish, the leather touches over here. Everything is very neat, simple and minimalist in its own way, and which is nice. Even the glove box can be opened easily from the screen. The glove box is quite deep but not wide, but it still does its job. Now let's talk about everything else from the central console perspective. The steering wheel is very simple and classic Tesla design. I love that it is flat bottom as well. Again, very intriguing touch here as well with some silver aluminum panel. Looks really nice, but there are some good changes. Model Y does have a dedicated side signal stock, and the good thing is it is integrated with this camera system as well, which you can clearly see. And look at the resolution of this camera system. This is so crisp and clear. The steering wheel has very simple and basic controls, wiper controls, light controls, and this particular button here can be used to control your steering height and tilt adjustment as well as your side mirrors. On my right you have voice control and your FSD controls. When you push this button it goes into automated driving, which will show you in the driving experience. Now let's talk about this beautiful 15.4-inch center display, because it does not have any driver's display. That's one thing I would say Tesla misses out big time. They could have at least given a heads-up display in this 2025 year, and that would have summed up this car in a very beautiful way, but it is what it is. Let's talk more about this center screen, because everything you control in this car is from this screen, and that's where the tech and the software marvel comes into play from Tesla. Tesla software is at par from any other players in the market. It's very hard to beat them in this department. So you see the car in front of you, you can actually control your trunk and everything else. Very simple controls with this car menu here. You actually get into more detailed shortcuts. You have everything from glove box opening, light controls, mirror adjustment, car wash, steering. Everything is very neatly designed. You have dynamic mode, that's where you can actually change the standard and chill for the acceleration. Deceleration reduced to standard, that's where you want one pedal driving or a regular driving. You also have steering weight, where you can keep it light, standard or heavy depending upon your choice. Light controls, and here is where you also have seat controls, and that's where you can actually control heated seats or ventilated seats. The second row comes with heated only, not ventilated. The volume control is also over here, and it's fairly easy, and you can also control the overall sound system. When it comes to sound system, another new thing which this Tesla Model Y comes with is a 15 speaker 2 subwoofer sound system, which sounds amazingly well. You can actually use this to balance the sound from where it is coming. Also you have more options to play around with the tone and everything, which is an equalizer, and it looks really nice, and trust me, it sounds really nice. Some shortcut buttons here for your music system, and in fact you can use this 3 dots to bring up more apps and more details about YouTube, Netflix and everything else what you want to use on the screen. Some defrost settings, steering wheel settings are also brought in here. However, you can actually access that from this particular HVAC system as well, where everything is touchscreen. You can actually move this based on what you want, but I like to keep it in auto so that it does its job by itself. I don't have to worry about it. All other short controls over here with your defrost settings and everything is very neatly designed. But mind you, every now and then, whatever you want to do it, you need to do it on the screen. So while you are driving, it always is a distraction in my opinion. You put a pedal on the brake, and that's where it activates the drive modes, as you can see here. Forward for drive, reverse for reverse as well, but tap to go on parking. And as soon as I go reverse or drive, you see this camera system really opens up your overall view system. Another way you can change the gears is right on top here. If you see, this is your hazard lights, and when you actually touch you will see the lighting of the park, reverse, neutral and drive, and it is very simple and easy to operate here instead of this touch screen. You also have inbuilt navigation system, and it is actually crisp and very easy to use. All you need to do is go to navigation, add your destination, and there you go. Rest all can be done through your full self driving, which will show you in the driving impressions as well. Now let us talk about the center console. You have got 2 wireless charging pad over here, and it is big and very easy to access. The new thing in this Model Y is this covers here now can be closed completely, and it reveals a very deep front storage here, and 2 cup holders which is neatly designed. The good thing is with this one touch of a button you can actually close it, and it gives you a much more cleaner look. The center armrest here is also quite deep. There is some light inside and one USB-C, which is good. This overall padding of the center armrest is also soft and very neatly designed. Now let us hop into the second row and check out the space and comfort there. Alright, so now I'm in the second row of this Model Y. Let us talk about the comfort and fit and finish here. Before that, let's talk about the door panel. The door panel is very similar to the front row and everything is meticulously designed. Ambient lighting, the metal choices are top notch. Let me show you more about the second row. First thing I wanted to show you here is the switches here are new into this Model Y, which can be used for reclining the seats, which I'll show you from the other side. Now the seats is easily reclinable with this button and it is quite fast, but the recline is not too deep. What else we have is this ambient lighting is very bright and prominent, looks really nice. The side window is very big and easy visibility for second row passengers. You have got lightings over here and a small hook for your coat hanger as well. Now as far as comfort goes, everything is very well designed. More than 40 inches of legroom, decent headroom thanks to this panoramic sunroof and overall gap here. Even the 6-foot people should easily be able to sit without any issues. The seats for this new Model Y is also redesigned. The seats are much more forward, hence giving you much more comfort, softer and perforated with heated only options. But what it misses is little bit of more under thigh support would have been more welcomed. Beautifully designed floor, very flat, so it always helps you with this middle passenger as well. The center here you also have cup holder system, but it does not have any pass through. Now let us talk about the main talking point of the second row, which is this all new 8-inch screen for the second row passengers, very similar to the new Model 3 as well. You can control your HVAC system, you can even control your heated seats. Is you have Netflix, YouTube, Hulu and Twitch for your entertainment system. In fact, it also comes with these games and it is really a blissful thing to have, especially when you have kids. The AC vents are hidden and looks really neat. You have two USB-Cs. The positioning of the screen is little awkward where you need to always see downwards. I wish they could have given something like a tablet style on both the rear seats. That would have been a game changer for this Tesla Model Y. Small pockets behind the front rows are always welcomed and everything is very neat and fit and finish quality is much more improved from the previous generation. Alright, so it's time for us to take this new Model Y on a spin. Let's talk about the driving impressions of this, and that's one of the most important thing about this Model Y with those changes which they have made with the suspension and the chassis. Let us put this on drive, and as soon as you put it on drive, you see this camera system pops up, which really is intuitive and easy to see thanks to the front cameras. Now as you see, it is really helping you, and after a certain speed it automatically goes away. And even when you use the turn signals, you have the same feature to use your blind spot camera system as well, and that's really handy. The first thing I noticed immediately is how quiet this new Model Y is. Thanks to all the noise level materials and fit and finish and the design choices they have made, it is immensely quiet. I'll show you a demo. I'm just opening one of the windows and I'm closing it now. You can feel that change instantaneously, and that's always a handsome thing to have, especially in the electric or EV cars. The steering and the dynamic of this driving is very precise. I can say immediately as well that the driving has certainly improved and refined than the previous generation. One of the biggest complaint which consumers had was the suspension was very stiff. Right now I can even confirm that the suspension is much more better, much more softer, much more standard, and you can feel it. We'll see how it improves in a bad road, but it is certainly better than the previous generation in every which way. One more thing I can say is the turning radius of this Model Y is not the best in class. It's very small comparatively. The visibility from the front is really nice. When it comes to rear, the rear window is so small that it's always difficult to see, but well, that's where this handy camera system comes, isn't it? As you see, I'm taking on some potholes and it is actually taking those potholes really very well. The suspension tuning actually is really well done from the Tesla engineers. Now the car is really smooth to drive. The acceleration, as you see, is instantaneous, typical Tesla DNA. But the good thing is the braking is very confident. The body roll of this car is super agile. Super agile means it is so stiff, it looks like as if you are driving a sports car, and it is always good thing to have. And because of the center of gravity and the battery system and everything, it is really performing well. Overall, the steering is very precise and comfortable. The sitting position is also nice and simple. I must say, It is certainly fun to drive. Even on cornerings, it goes where you want it to go. And that are all good things to have when you are driving a faster, agile, and performance car like Model Y. Now let's talk about the most important talking point of this car: full self-driving or autopilot. As you see on the screen over here, everything is very neatly designed. You see all the camera system and notifications and everything. I'm going to put this car on full self-driving to my home address, and let's see how well it does without any external inputs from a driver. So now I've put the car on completely full self-driving. That's a beta version in this Model Y, and as you see, everything it is tracking, no input from my side at all. Look forward and make sure that I'm not doing anything which the system tracks it as something wrong. As you see, it has taken a turn very swiftly with this T, and it's a very important junction there, and everything is well controlled in the right speed of the roads. It is going to take us to my home, in fact all the way to my driveway, and it is a feeling which you can only have once you use it yourself. This is one of the only feature I would say is the most important thing to have, and a reason for you to buy a Tesla Model Y. As you see right now, we have reached our home, and it's apparently taking us on our driveway, and we have completed the small full self-driving trip. There you go. How excellent is it, isn't it? Here's a cool feature of this Tesla Model Y where you can auto park this car. As you see, it has detected the parking spot on my left, and it will automatically take the car, steer it as you see it very nicely and smoothly, and put it back in that parking spot. And it is very tight, as on my right you have a Model X, but yet it is doing everything possible to make sure that it is swiftly and smoothly parked for you. And now it should take it back nicely and clearly. Here you go, your car is parked without anything to do from your side. After spending good quality time with this all new 2025 Model Y, it's time for the final thoughts. Should you consider, shortlist, or go ahead and buy this Model Y? In my opinion, you should certainly shortlist this Model Y. In this segment, you have got a lot of competition going on, likes of Hyundai Ioniq 5, Kia EV6, Volkswagen's ID4, Chevrolet's Equinox EV, or in the luxury space like Cadillac's Lyriq or Audi Q4 e-tron or even Q6 e-tron. You have a lot of choices around, so it's not necessary that you always have to go for Model Y. I must say that if you value range, performance, tech, and that excellent software experience from this Tesla, then it is very hard to beat this Tesla Model Y still in 2025 year. But only time will decide whether the Model Y would be dethroned and the mainstream car manufacturers will do even better to be the best car in the selling electric SUV, which we will know later. But for now, I really appreciate the Tesla's refinement in the exterior design, the interior fit and finish quality, and those performance changes which they have brought in with this tuning of the chassis and the suspension and everything else in between. That has certainly made this Model Y a compelling and one of the best options available in the market right now. With that being said, I will leave with this thought that what do you think about this refreshed Model Y? Do you think Tesla has done enough to be the best car still in the electric SUV market, or they could have done even better? That's all from my side for this particular review. I would see you in the next one. Thank you all for watching, and hey, please do not forget to like and subscribe my channel.